Welcome to those of you watching online. A couple were living in Minneapolis during the winter. They got sick of it. It was so cold. They decided to go to South Florida, Miami Beach. They're going to get warm. So they had busy schedules. They couldn't go on the same day. So the husband decided he'd go first. He left on Thursday. The wife would follow on Friday. So he got down, checked into the motel, and everything was fine. And he decided, because they had computers in the room, he'd send his wife an email and let her know that he got there, everything was fine. So he messed up. When he sent her an email, he missed one of the letters on the email. So instead of going to his wife, it went to a widow in Houston who had just returned home from burying her husband, who had died of a heart attack. Well, when she entered her home, she went to the computer to see maybe some of her friends and loved ones from afar had sent condolences. But when she opened the computer screen, she screamed and fainted. Her son ran downstairs and saw her sprawled out on the floor. He was stunned, but he looked up at the computer screen and he read it. And it said, "To my loving wife, I've just arrived. They have computers here, and you're allowed to send emails to your loved ones. I've seen that everything has been prepared for your arrival tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing you then. Hope your journey is as uneventful as mine was. P.S. It sure is freaking hot down here." I don't know, it just struck me as funny. Well, transitions are filled with uncertainty. Transitions, I mean, when you adapt to, for example, maybe you go through a divorce, maybe you're going off to school or college, having a major health setback, a job change. Transitions. They're by definition the loss of something for the opportunity of the gain of something. But there's that in-between period where you're losing what you had, but you haven't yet gained what you hope to have. So a huge part of what makes transition so important is they're the most viable place to discover the value of your faith. Because when things are stable, when they're constant, you really don't need the same level of faith as when things are uncertain and mysterious. See, there are certain experiences in life that become a filter of who's going to go forward, who's not, who's going to step in, who's going to step back. Now, I don't know if you've ever had this experience. I've had it a couple of times. I was invited years ago with a couple to go to a restaurant to eat dinner in a major city. But when I got there, they didn't tell me you have to wear a coat to get in. Well, it made me so angry and embarrassed because there I was with other people who were in coats, and they didn't bother to tell me this was an entrance requirement. I remember my youngest daughter, Alicia, wearing a denim dress and a denim jacket, going to the country club for a buffet lunch, and she couldn't get in because they had a sign and a doorman that said, "No denim allowed." I think it was originally to get rid of jeans in this nice place, but in any event, although she looked quite nice, she was refused service and she couldn't get in. So there's been a few places in my life where I was told I was not allowed in. I was reading recently how it was only in the 1970s that women were allowed to run in the Boston Marathon. That's in my lifetime. That's crazy. It's in our lifetime that Tiger Woods was actually not allowed to join golf clubs or courses where he won. So it's astonishing to me how we create these filtering systems that decide who's in, who's not allowed in, based on certain criteria. But what about if there was a door, a portal, a gate that you could only walk through depending on your bravery? If there was a sign over the door that said, "Only the brave, only the bold," I wonder how many of us would be invited in. See, that's what these critical transition moments are, especially in the Bible, because what you find over and over again is that in critical moments, men and women rose up and became noteworthy in history because there was an invitation in those moments that basically said, only the brave. Now, this is what you find in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 5 and 9. This is God speaking to Joshua. Here's what he says to him. No one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you or forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all my law that my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Now, I love this particular section of Scripture because it reiterates over and over again the phrase I hope you caught. Be strong and courageous. And because of that, if you have a very superficial or limited knowledge of the book of Joshua or Joshua himself, what you would assume is that Joshua must have been a courageous person. If you thought of Joshua as being a coward, Joshua would not have become a popular name. How many of you know a Joshua? Raise your hand. How many know one, right? See, right? See,